YouTubers, fellow reefers, what's up? March here again in the frag box. And if you saw some of the other videos, our Duncan coral here in the display tank, we're doing very, very bad. I will link in the description the video where I was showing what was going on. And it was really, really frustrating because Duncan coral, one, it's one of my favorite LPS corals, and two, they're incredibly easy to keep. If you want to get into keeping LPS corals, this is one that I highly recommend. It's very fast growing, just hardy, just almost invincible. Like even when it comes to fragging, if you cut the head off one of these things, it will regrow, almost like, you know, like if you rip the tail off a lizard. I don't know what I'm talking about lizards for, but anyways, I really, really love this coral. And we found out that we had this, what kind of fish was it? The one that was eating the Duncans. So it was a bicolor blenny, and that guy was actually eating some of the corals in this tank. I didn't know that it wasn't reef safe, obviously, when I added it, but that's besides the point. That's me getting sidetracked again. Duncans, they're very easy to keep. I think they're great corals for beginner. They have this healthy, they have this fleshy sort of head that comes off of a skeleton, and they don't come in too many color varieties. There's green and some blues. I find that they like a little bit more flow than most LPS, so I would say medium to even, they can tolerate higher flow. And we normally stick them lower on the rockwork to about medium. I've had them as high as acros before, and they do fine, but if you're trying it out for the first time, I would say about halfway up the, halfway up the tank. What I really like about them is they branch out. So it's an LPS coral, but as it grows, you almost get the look of like the skeleton kind of looks like an acro. It grows like a big, vibrant green tree, and then you get these amazing wavy tentacles on the end. They almost look like anemones or torches or something like that. But I love corals that wave in general, and that's really nice because you get to enjoy this waviness without any aggression. They have no sting whatsoever. You can butt them up against other corals. They'll get stung, like by euphyllias or other sort of LPS corals, but they have no stinging power in my experience. So they're not going to hurt anything in the tank. You can put them very close to other corals and make really nice gardens out of them. I typically put a few in tanks that I set up. And I think that's maybe why I'm so drawn to them, is I like corals that are non-aggressive, and then you can get these really nice full coral garden sort of looks. It's not necessary to feed it, but we do recommend it. They're really, really active eaters. I'm going to show you at the end of the video how we feed them. And I do find that they grow faster, look healthier, they get fatter heads, just overall much happier and healthier coral, like most corals do. They have lots of mouths, so they can eat a lot. I'm not sure where they put it, because when you feed this thing, in like no exaggeration, I want to say 20-30 minutes, the mouth opens up again and they're just ready to go. These things are like pigs. They can eat all day, more than most LPS. They can eat a tremendous amount of food. So I feed them the Vitalis LPS pellets, but you can feed them any LPS pellets, really, and they're just really hardy. Like I don't usually hear of people losing Duncans or having them die in the tank. They're just really, really easy to keep, and I think it's a great beginner coral, or even a beginner LPS coral if you're wanting to try one out. But I'm going to go ahead and feed one, and I think I'm going to glue this one down. So we didn't put any in for a couple of weeks to make sure that it was really the bicolor stupid blenny that was eating them. So I'll go ahead and glue this one down. I'll show you where I stick it in the tank and how I glue it. It's kind of a larger piece, maybe epoxy. No, I'm gonna go with the Ecotech coral glue. That's my preferred glue for attaching all corals. And then I'm gonna go ahead and feed a couple frags and show you how we do that. So just hang around for a second. Touch it. It's kind of cool. It's gonna close all the heads will kind of go in. And we want to glue it somewhere here at the bottom. One other thing to note, I'm almost 100% certain that Duncan coral have no pests. It's a good idea to dip. I'll show you the dip that we usually recommend, but as far as I know, nothing except stupid bicolor blennies and maybe angelfish. There's no pests, there's no nudibranches or flatworms. I think that looks kind of cool. Actually, it's just kind of a nice spot in the rock where it's sticking good, so I'm just going to go ahead and add some nice. This is the glue I use for everything. Every single piece here in the store, we're using this coral glue from Ecotech. Very good stuff. Kind of cantilevering it in there. I think that'll hold nice. And that's it. Give it some time. It'll probably take, I would say, I don't know, by the end of today, maybe tomorrow, it should open back up. Just, corals don't like to get touched, so give him some time and then he's going to open up nicely. I really like these two dips right here. These are the ones we carry. Actually, we have this one as well, Coral RX Pro. This is like a more concentrated version. I know it's overdue. I'm going to do a video on using coral dips and why we use them and how to use them. But it's always a good idea to dip. There's some things you don't dip or before going in the tank, like clams. You don't want to dip clams, or invertebrates, stuff. You don't dip fish. This is primarily just for corals with the exception of a few, but that's going to be covered in another video. Here in middle, we're doing an intermission right now. We just got lots of beautiful new clownfish from, I think this was Pro Aquatics in the States, or one or the other, maybe Ore, but really, really healthy, beautiful patterns, colors, some nice dotty backs. Hello, friendly guy. Lots of new nice clowns. This is second week of January here in 2020. So if you're local, I'll put these on the website shortly, but yeah, lots of beautiful patterns and good sizes, not too small, not too big. And I've shown this food in another video, but I'm just going to show it one more time because we're talking about Duncans today. They absolutely love this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and feed some frags here and just show you how reactive they are. It's really fun to feed, actually. Are you hungry? I do this with a pipette. He's just going to gobble that up, and 20 minutes, half an hour, he digests it or ingests it. I don't know what they're doing with it, and they're ready to go again. I don't think there's another LPS you can feed as much as you can feed Duncan. Okay, I'm going to feed it properly. Sorry, the other way was kind of lazy, but you really should use a turkey baster or pipette so you're not wasting food and just polluting the tank. Oh, I kind of missed. These guys absolutely love to eat, and they're a lot of fun to feed. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. As usual, contact info at the end. Thank you for listening to me talk about one of my favorite LPS corals. It's up there, not favorite of all time, but definitely up there. Here's another nice example of Duncan over here. And yeah, if you saw the videos before, these things were just getting destroyed. That bicolor blending just for some reason took a liking to them. It was also eating some of our acros in the tank, but they look like they're rebounding really nicely. And I'm going to leave you today with this beautiful orange frog spawn. No, you know what? I'm going to leave you with the nicer yellow one we just added. This thing is really cool. I think the camera is picking up green, and I think it's an octo spawn, not a frog spawn. There's a subtle, very subtle difference, but it's really unusual, kind of a cool piece. And these zoas are getting stung, and it's probably time to move them. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Fragbox TV.